Good afternoon. 7th. Let me start that over. Take 2. Good afternoon, 7th graders and 8:03. It is good. It is Saturday, about 5 o'clock right now, where I'm at. And today I'm going to show you a video how to do this week's assignment. I'm going to open Tinkercad. I'm going to go into Create New Design. And here we go with our work plane. We are going to go in and we are going to change the name. And we are going to name this Pawn. And please put your name after it. And I'll put my grandkids called at me. I put Pawn Poppy. And then I'm going to come down here where it says Edit Grid. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to change from millimeters to inches. And I'm going to update grid. And there you have it. Each one of these squares are going to be 1 inch. Each one of these little squares inside of that is going to be 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so the first part we're going to need this little purple cone. And we're going to bring that out. I'm going to place it up there in that corner of my work plane. And I'm going to grab this handle down here, and we are going to make this 1 inch and 1/8, which is 1.125. 1.125. I'm going to enter that. And then this is going to be the base of our pawn. I'm going to look at it from the top just to make sure it looks good. Everything looks equal. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to go to my shapes and I'm going to pull out a whole cube. I'm going to stretch it out just a little bit because we need this to be big enough to cover that entire cone. So I'm going to go back to my front view. I'm going to raise this up 0.125. Enter it. It's going to say 1/8. I'm going to turn the handles off. Whenever you move a shape, turn the handles off so you don't change the parameters of your shape. Then I'm just going to drag it over there on top of the cone. I am going to align it just to make sure that it lines up. I'm going to align on the X and the Y axis, and I'm going to group. And there we have the base of our pawn. Okay, now we're going to use another one of these cones. And I'm going to click on the handle. And we're going to make this 3/4. 0.75. 0.75. And then we have that shape. Now we're going to go ahead and grab another cube. We can leave this cube the size that it's coming off of because this should be the same size. Now we're going to raise this up 0.5. Oops. 0.5. And then we're going to align it with the cone. I want to make sure something. Oh, you know what? We are going to have to make this whole shape just a little bit bigger and make sure we cut off everything that we want to cut off. So I'm going to click and drag over it. I'm going to align on my x-axis and my y-axis. Look at the front of it again, and somehow or another I messed it up. So we need that square, the cube, to be 1/2 of an inch out. 0.5. It's already aligned. I'm going to group it, and now we have a second shape, because we're just basically going to be using 4 different shapes in order to make our pawn. Now what we're going to do, we're going to click on the pawn, I'm going to hit Control C, and then I'm going to hit Control V, and I duplicated it. I'm going to turn the handles off and separate these two, because we're going to flip one of these upside down. But we're going to take one and we're going to drag it over, and we have to lift it up 0.125, 0.125, and then we are going to align it. Simple enough. The X and the Y axis, and then we're going to group. Okay, I just want to just look and make sure and double check. So now we're going to go over to our second one, and we are going to flip it over 180 degrees. For those of you who know how to do that, I'm going to click on it. I'm going to see we have either one. We can flip it on this one or this one. I'm going to flip it on this one, and I'm going to get my number 0 and put 180, and it's upside down now. Same shape, just upside down. I'm going to slide it closer, and I am going to lift it up 0.5 plus 0.125. So we're going to raise this up. I'm going to pull it up a little bit. 0.65. 625, excuse me. 0.625, 5/8 of an inch. I'm going to drag that over, put it near the center, and I'm just going to align again to make sure I get it perfect. Line on the X, line on the Y, and then I'm going to group. Before I group, I'm going to look at this because it just doesn't look straight to me. But after further inspection, it does look okay. I'm just going to double check, align the X and the Y. So now that I have it both highlighted, I'm going to group it, and there is the base of the pawn. Now I'm going to drag out a spear. We then worked with spears when we did the rotating rings. The spear is going to be, we're going to make each of these handles or parameters 0.625, 0.625, and 0.625. Okay, so we're getting close. We need to raise this up, the combination of all this, which is 1.125. I'm going to pull that up, and actually I am going to lower it down just a little bit, and I'm going to make that 1.120. We want it to be a little bit onto, just a little bit into this part. So I'm going to drag the cube over, the sphere over, align it on the X and the Y. I'm going to give it a real quick look, and that is our pawn. Any of you who know anything about chess, there are 8 pawns in a game. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to Control C. I'm going to go Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V, 6, 7, 8. And of course we have to separate them all, because they cannot be, if they're going to be printed, they cannot be printed like this. I'm going to try to separate them just a little bit evenly. Try to make them look like they're organized a little bit. And there you go. You have your pawn. next week we'll try to make some other piece. But for now, that's it. Good luck. Let me know when you get it done.